it was scary tribalism because Urzyad as Roger. Oh my God, that's going to be in my nightmares. That really is.
It's time to spill the tea. Hello!
You there, and welcome to
A Spoonful of Theatre. And this is another one of our Spill the Tea podcast theatre reviews, where we review a local piece of theatre right outside the theatre foyer. I'm TJ, director and theatre practitioner.
And I'm Sam, a teacher of language, literature, and self-proclaimed show business lovey. And what have we just seen, TJ?
We have just watched Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies.
By Sightlines Theatre Company,
Yes.
right here at KC Arts Centre, one of my
Yes.
favourite theatres in Singapore. I love it at KC Arts Centre. So, Sam, classic story. What's your thoughts?
Oh my God, do you know what? I really wish at 40 years old my brain wasn't still processing on Windows 95 because I have so many thoughts from so many different perspectives. I have thoughts as an educator. I have thoughts as somebody that went to an all-boys school. I have thoughts as somebody that was a scout. I have so many thoughts, but I'm just going to sum it all up. I had a fantastic and intense night in the theatre this evening. What about you, TJ?
Same. I really enjoyed it. I thought the detail of the performance was really there. I thought there was some fantastic creative choices. It was very intense throughout, and there's a few little things that we're going to get into with the podcast.
Sure.
But I'd say overall it was a classic story told well.
Yes, I mean, Lord of the Flies, and this is where, straight off the bat, I will say that Sightlines has been very clever in its choice of text for this year's season, because Lord of the Flies is a classic text of study for GCSE English literature. And now, this is where, full disclosure here, I've never read it.
Oh, actually, neither have I.
No. So I studied Shakespeare for my GCSE text. I didn't study Lord of the Flies, or the other one is an Inspector Calls, I think is the other one. But so I knew nothing of the story. I knew nothing of the text. But after tonight, I can see absolutely why this text is studied. And going back to what I was saying about Sightlines being very clever, as a literature teacher, there's one thing that I always say to my students when we study drama. Drama is not meant to be read. It's meant to be watched.
Yes.
And this is why studying Shakespeare can be a real pain in the bum sometimes, because, Shakespeare's language choices. No. What is the story Shakespeare putting on the stage? The story that Sir William Golding has put on the stage is absolutely marvellous. That idea of what happens when there's no authority for boys. Now, the very key thing there, boys, when there's no figure of authority to guide them.
Yep.
When there's no rules.
I just think this story is still a story very valid today.
Yes.
It's about tribes and finding your place and rules and so many questions that the story brings up. And I think it's not for any age, it's for every age to kind of discover as well. Even though it's a story technically about school children, I think anyone can come to the theatre and really enjoy it. Shall we jump into the play itself and the piece itself?
Yes.
Acting, Sam.
Oh, right. Now this is where the intensity is there, because there was such intense performances that really, really resonated. For me, from the very beginning, like Salif in particular, who played Jack, who is the choir prefect. Now, if you ever went to a school with prefects, you know they can be, I don't want to swear on our podcast, but they can be quite authoritarian individuals. And Jack played that with such Salif played that with such an intensity that was frightening. It was really frightening and loud. I'm not going to deny that. It was quite loud tonight. And then Urzyad. Oh my God. That idea of tribalism, I think you've summed it up there perfectly, because it did. It fell into tribalism. But it was scary tribalism because Urzyad as Roger. Oh my God, that's going to be in my nightmares. That really is. He played that with such fierce intensity that in the second act I was nudging you because I was quivering. It was frightening, and that leads me on to the acting in general of tonight's performances, because it's a smaller cast, which I'm sure you'll go into more detail on. That most of the time it was easy to tell which characters they were playing, because it wasn't necessarily one actor, one character. So at times it was really obvious in the way that it was performed that, you are that character. And two that really stood out for me was Urjad with his scary portrayal of Roger, but also Ryan. Ryan as Percival. I really wanted
very cute.
I wanted to give him a cuddle.
Adorable.
Oh, it was marvellous. And you as a teacher of primary school children,
Yes.
I bet that really resonated with you. But you tell us, what do you think about the performance?
So, a little bit of context here, ladies and gentlemen. So this play normally is performed probably with around 20 people, maybe more, and is often done in schools. Actually, it's a very popular play for schools because it's school children, obviously. But even in its professional cast, it's a very much ensemble play because it is about tribes. So to make a production decision and directorial decision to cast a play about tribes of several people with 6 actors is a challenge. In many ways, it's a challenge for the actors because they have to multi-role and multi-hat, but also have to fill the stage with the energy of a tribe and the energy of a group. And what I will say is, I think it only worked tonight because of those actors.
Yes, I completely agree.
Those 6 performers on the stage tonight absolutely blew me away with their detail, They left everything on the stage. The intensity in which they played the characters. Those 6 boys must be absolutely bloody exhausted.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine.
But that, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely phenomenal acting.
Yes.
And is detail that I think in a play like this we have to see. And I think because it is a very intense play, it's also a play that can get lost in intensity.
Yes,
because there's, you as teachers of boys, you put many boys in a room together. There's a lot of energy, especially school-age boys, and that's written really well in the text. You see that, and you see the energy of boys and the boisterousness of boys, and it works when there are 20 boys on stage. What I would say is it became a bit too frantic at times tonight because those 6 actors were playing many boys. So not only did you have the text quite frantic already, because it has to be, those 6 boys were then running off stage to change into a token to show that I'm another character. So people were running on and off all the time, and it became very frantic. And we lost the story a couple of moments, not because of the acting, but just because of the choice of having to multi-hat and multi-role. And there was a couple of scenes I was like, wait, who's saying that? Why are they saying that? And some key moments, like towards the end of Act 1, on the first death in the story, I was a bit unsure who was who and what was going on at that point because of that. But it works overall, and I did enjoy my night in the theatre. I wish potentially, I think they did such a good job, and actually I thought it was directed well with 6 characters. I just wish the production decision would have been to have maybe 2 more actors, just to help give it that extra dynamic and extra help in terms of storytelling.
Yes.
But overall, I thought the performances were stunning. So well done, boys. Absolutely amazing.
So let's go into the production now, because I must admit, when we walked into the theatre tonight and we saw that stage, we both went, wow.
Yeah.
And the staging was absolutely brilliant in terms of how it melded the schoolboy aspect, the school atmosphere, shall we say, into the island atmosphere. It gelled, it worked so well. The only note that I have is that, again, this leads on from what you were saying about the intensity and the chaos of the story. When you've got 3 full-grown men on the stage, running about, being physical with each other, it was very stampy. It was very, very stampy, and that was a little
to the auditory kind of experience for sure.
But again, it kind of, I lost dialogue because of the noise.
Of course.
And that kind of comes from like the staging and the fact that we've got 6 grown men running about being physical. But the set itself was absolutely marvelous.
Well done, Chiwai. Absolutely loved that set. And it seems simple. It's a set that looks simple, but it's absolutely not. Actually, the way it's made is absolutely more complex than it looks, for sure. I really did enjoy the set for myself. I thought that really told the story. And what I really liked, actually, was the way that the director had decided that, okay, we're going to be initially in a school with boys telling the story and reading some of the stage directions, and it's almost like the boys acted out the story and then we went into the world of the story. And I think that did work, and I think that did help at times to mitigate, because they became back to scripts at times when too many things were going on, as though they were reading characters. That worked at times. I thought at times it did take us out of it a little bit and help and struggle understanding some of the scenes, but I thought they did the best with that as they could, and I thought it was a good choice. So I from a direction perspective, I did enjoy that. Other production aspects, costumes, I was just a little bit unsure sometimes with the costumes. We went from school uniform to torn school uniform and then back into clean school uniform for no reason, I felt.
The end of Act 1,
Yeah, I was a bit confused. I didn't really see a reason for that. But I did like how the school uniforms got less and less throughout the show and became vests in the second act and that sort of thing. I was a little bit unsure why some of them had like half a leg, like they'd been eaten by an animal. You know, when you'd supposedly been in a plane crash, why half the cast had half a leg missing. But overall, I thought it worked. The lighting really helped tell the story as well. And I loved how the lighting was underneath the set as well, and really did add, as it was an extra character on stage.
Yes, absolutely.
So I did think that was really wonderful as well. So yeah, I think production-wise, I really enjoyed a lot of the elements.
I agree. The light, and the sound, and special effects, there were special effects there, was very, very atmospheric, and it really amplified and complemented the set, especially with the island.
Yeah. I'd say my big overall note, just to finish before we do our scores on the doors, I would have just loved a little bit more dynamics, because a lot of the show, I think the big description of the show I would give is loud.
Yes.
And there were soft moments, and those moments were so appreciated.
Yes, they were.
But I just think there was times that it was frantic, and I was struggling. You get out of it when you just have frantic. I stopped listening.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think again, it's the choice of having less actors was one of the reasons it had to be that frantic, because they were coming on and off stage quite a lot.
Yes.
And that made it more frantic.
There was a point where I thought, oh my God, can their voices do that every single night?
Absolutely.
And we're reviewing this at the end of their run, so kudos to the actors for performing at that volume and that intensity for so many nights, because I know my throat wouldn't be able to handle that.
No,
absolutely not.
Well done, guys.
Yeah. Right, now then, ladies and gentlemen, as you know by now, when TJ and I go and see a production, we always give it a rating out of 5 spoonfuls. But TJ and I never reveal how many spoonfuls we are going to give until the moment has arrived, and that moment is now. So are you ready, TJ?
Ready.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yes!
We are the same.
We're
having a run of the same.
Yes,
we
we are the same.
Absolutely.
So why a 4 for you, TJ?
Solid performances. Genuinely, I really enjoyed the production. The detail in the performances just filled me with joy, and the level of commitment from the actors was just outstanding. Like, absolute masterclass. Like, and you could tell they were also having fun on stage.
Oh, yes.
Even though it was a cast of 6 trying to be 20-odd people, they were still a fantastic ensemble that felt like 20-odd people, you know. So I was really, really proud of them. Come just for the acting. It was amazing.
Yes. I quite agree. I was gripped from start to finish, because, as I said, I don't know this story. I didn't know what to expect. I know how famous it is, but I just did not know what the story was about, and I was really gripped from start to finish, and that is a testament to the performances that I've seen on stage. So absolutely a well-deserved 4.
Yes. So by the time this review comes out, the show will have closed. It closes tomorrow. We've come on the second to last night, but well done to everybody involved in the production. Sightlines have a lot of things coming up for the rest of the year, so go check out all their socials to find out what's coming up.
Right, my tea's on cold, love. Shall we leave it there?
Let's.
So that's cheerio from us. We'll be back soon.
And a hurrah from me.
And to the cast and crew for their final day of performances of The Lord of the Flies.
And to anyone else performing in Singapore Theatre, break a leg.